Mr. Sai Giridhar, Vice President at FADA. Mr. Giridhar, afternoon. Thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. What is your assessment of impact on OEM production due to gas shortage in the domestic and global market? Has there been any impact, or is it preemptive and too early to perhaps call out any impact on the auto sector?
See, as on day, we're not seeing any impact overall as far as supplies are concerned. There's no disruption. There is no shortage of supplies from the OEMs. Though the stock level has reduced as far as passenger vehicle is concerned, but overall, as of day, there are no signals that there is any supply shortage or there is any curtailment of production from the OEM side. Though probably we are watching the situation very closely, we're monitoring it on a day-to-day basis because we understand that if this thing prolongs, then there might be some disruptions in supply chain. But as of day, we don't see any disruption today.
Mr. Giridhar, hi. Afternoon. This is Kavita also joining in. Just wanted to understand the status on dealer dispatches. Is it slowing across segments, or there's nothing yet out there?
So as of day, there is nothing on cards as far as dispatches are concerned. In fact, the dispatches are normal. In fact, to say that it's above normal would be the right phase. As of day, there is no disruption. If you talk about the retail front also looks good. Only thing to cautious about is that if this thing continues the way the markets are reacting, because we have a tendency that we become overcautious. So that might affect the sentiment to a bit. But this month, we don't see any impact because we have festivity around. I think we should sail through this month.
Since you're telling us that everything depends on sentiment and perhaps that could worsen going forward, Mr. Giridhar, what is the situation when it comes to demand, both in the rural and in the urban market? I understand that festive season is around the corner. Will it be enough to hold up to the industry's expectations when it comes to demand?
So as of day, the demand is strong. In fact, if you see last month numbers, the growth has been healthy in terms of it's close to 26%, and there was an across segment growth. So there's no cautious as far as demand is concerned. Demand is healthy. If you talk about the enablers for our industry, the rate of interest is at the lowest. The availability for products is there. The customers are there in the market looking for their products. And with the festivity around the corner this month, we don't see any demand slowing down. But what I was talking about was the way the share market because if the retail investors, if they lose their money, so it affects the sentiment. And once the sentiments get affected, the first thing which affects is their purchase decision. They try to postpone their purchase decision. But as of day, there's nothing of that sort.
All right. So if the demand trend is very strong, we just want an update on the inventory levels. If you talk about PVs, two-wheelers, and even CVs, are the bookings on track? What are you prioritizing if there is any shift?
So as of day, if you talk about passenger vehicle segment, because that was the worrying segment we've been talking about since last 2 years. The stock which the dealers were carrying, it was as high as close to 70-75 days. Today, that has gone down below 30 days. So there's nothing to worry as far as the high inventory at the dealership is concerned. The dispatches are normal. Two-wheeler, there was always nothing to worry. In fact, I've spoken to a few of the dealers across India. Their only concern is they're less on inventory. They've been speaking to their OEMs, getting more vehicles because the demand is high. And in this festivity, we see during Navratra, especially in the North India, the demands actually spikes up. So as of day, there's nothing. But as I said, that we're closely monitoring the situation because if the sentiments go down, then probably it can have an effect. But I think it's too early to speak about these things.
All right. And Mr. Giridhar, I believe the Supreme Court of India has also admitted a petition that was filed by your association seeking relief over blocked compensation cess credit. What has been the update on this front? If you can share it with us.
So that's a big relief for us because they've been close to 2,500 crores of legitimate money of dealers across India. which has been stuck as far as this thing excess cess is concerned, because we've not been able to. There was no way we could claim this money, and it's been stuck in the books. We had requested, given petitions to all the government departments, concerned ministries, but ultimately we understood that probably there is a legal hurdle. That's the reason we went to Supreme Court, and we are quite hopeful.
All right, I think we have snapped that line. We'll try to reconnect in just a bit, but that was some important commentary that has come in from FADA.